Jenna, and I am very honored to be here today. And first of all, let me just say I have a terrible cold and a little bit of a fever, but I was just insistent on coming and making this presentation. So hopefully I won't sound too nasal, and I can get through the presentation today. But it is an honor to be here with you today to talk about family. And the three things that the Rumi Forum wanted to focus on, I chose to focus on the social aspect and action and responsibility. And we're going to be looking at the 21st century family trends and issues. Now, let me also say before I get started is that there are a lot of different ways of looking at the trends and issues of family today. One of the areas that I always enjoy approaching it from is from a religious standpoint. However, today I'm not going to go the religious standpoint. I am going from a contemporary standpoint. So we'll cover some of those trends and issues that seem to be out there, maybe good, maybe bad, and then hopefully at the end we'll sort of be able to pull those together and talk about them in more of a global way, or looking at the trends and issues. The presentation style, I'm going to ask you to sort of look at family as it relates to home. And so as I move through this, you will be able to interact a little bit more with that piece of it. When we think about families today, we really do think about a lot of different types of families. The family is still paramount in our society. No matter how it changes, no matter how it gets transformed, we still look at family as a paramount institution. Every generation of families has undergone a certain amount of change, and maybe that's the reason that we often say there are no perfect families. And if you think you have a perfect family, I generally say if you wait a few days or a few weeks, something will happen that you're not so happy with your family. And if you think that you don't have a perfect family, if you wait a few days, something will happen and you'll be very pleased or happy about your family. So they're always changing because obviously we're all individuals and we're moving through various stages. So journey with me just for a few moments and we'll visit the house that many families live in. Envision from your own perspective family. Now, what we want to do is take just a closer look at what it means to have family and some of the issues that we are facing today with family. It looks like a family lives here. We don't know who lives here. We don't know if there are children, how many children. We don't know the type of form or structure of the family, but it looks like a family may actually live here. When we think about families in the past and present and then project into the future, we also think about families having similar blueprints, just as our homes have similar blueprints. Things are different, but for the most part, the blueprint stays the same. We also look at similar framework of families, and we can also see similar rooms that families may enjoy. So what's really changing, or what is changing about the American family? When we look just closer, we are looking for trends and issues, and I trust that rather than show you a lot of data and statistics, I'm going to actually circulate for you a handout that will include some of the resources that I've used here. Okay, let's start with the curb appeal. And again, I'm looking at the family as a house. So sort of follow with me as we talk about covering the house in the way of looking at family and some of the issues and trends. When we think about curb appeal, one of the very first things we have to think about in today's terms are who am I? Is it really all about me? Because some of what we're seeing happening with families really are looking at the individual. The estimated median age for the first marriage in 2007 for females it was 26 and for males it was 27. That is up significantly from 1970 when the median age was 20 for females and 23 for males. So we have to look at how people are viewing themselves in relationships. Areas on singlehood, delayed marriage, cohabitation, childbirth decline, females being fully engaged in the workforce, attitude and value changes, more egalitarian roles, an increased divorce rate. All of those things are actually contributing to this idea of curb appeal, how individuals see themselves and when individuals decide that they want to engage in a relationship that may be long-term or end up in a family structure. If we think about the front porch or a welcome mat, we have to think about selecting the right mate and some of the issues that are that we're facing around changing gender roles. Contemporary gender roles are more egalitarian. People tend to take on roles, males take on some female roles, females take on some male roles that look very different in our society today than traditionally. However, even in our 21st century, it's very easy for this to become sort of a swinging door because people, while they're comfortable having those contemporary roles, they're also very comfortable slipping back into very traditional roles. So oftentimes when we think about contemporary issues, if we look really closely, there are a lot of times where we actually retreat back into some very traditional roles, and both the male and the female are comfortable with that. Popular culture and mass media have a significant influence on our gender roles. Teenagers, when they're thinking about contemporary terms for dating, now we're hearing other terms outside of just dating, hanging out, getting together, pack dating, hooking up. All of those are terms that we hear teens use in selecting the right mate or even looking at changing gender roles. We see females asking males out so that it's not so traditional where males are the ones always asking females out. Young adults and older, 52% of females and 57% of males prefer a dinner date for a first date. So that really hasn't changed all that much. When you think about the traditional role of family and dating and selecting the right mate, the dinner date is still very popular. Now, when you look closely at some of those issues, and we could stay on these for and just talk just on one topic, and we don't have time to do that, but just the dinner date, and one of the reasons that's so popular, females really enjoy talking and that intimate relationship. Males enjoy doing, and so the dinner date really works because males are eating, doing, and females are talking, and usually at a table you have that close, intimate relationship. So I would encourage you, the next time you're out to dinner with your significant other, check that out, why the dinner date is so popular. But then also check out who usually is the person who says,